welcome everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Bringing you guys today episode 0 of the Backdoor Podcast. As you can see here, we have Jake Smith, Zach Beekman, and Austin Franke. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of the Stanley Cup Finals, touch on that, then go over NBA Finals, the Raptors, injuries that came up in the series, touch on the Anthony Davis trade that went down in the NBA, Mike Conley trade that went down today, 6/19, if anyone's actually wondering what day we're actually recording this on. And then we'll let Jake do his spiel on the U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka just couldn't quite pull it
I
off.
thought he was going to win it. I honestly called it. I thought he was going to win it.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up with a little bit of MLB talk, today's news, Zach and I's fantasy league, and then power rankings for that league. All right, so Stanley Cup Finals.
My number 2 Blues. Let's go.
Gloria!
Play Gloria, baby.
Oh. If you were smart, you put them at number 1 over the Flyers.
Why?
No.
If you have a favorite team for the longest time, you can't just replace it. That's bad.
No, you can't do that.
No, so
they were my number 2 for a long time.
Not going to be able to say much on these finals, seeing as though I vetoed after my my Golden Knights were out. So
I was out of it after the Wild shit the bed down the stretch.
Yeah, the Mild aren't going to do much, but so I don't know. There's not much to say. I mean, great series. I mean, Binnington absolutely stole that last game for him, but Blues are a defensive team, and that's what they did. They got up early, and despite being outplayed, they held on.
Yeah, so I'd like to see what you guys thought about O'Reilly and his performance in that last series, because obviously, I mean, best player in the series. So
4 straight games, with goals. It's hard to argue that.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch any of the games really. I had better
Kinda
shit
shocking.
to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, how was that shocking? My teams were out.
I guess, but
I didn't watch the World Series last year.
O'Reilly, with the Conn Smyth. Any thoughts on that? More hardware today. That'll be in next week's pod, but NHL bringing home more hardware. Of the year for them.
Personally, I only watched the last game, so I was gonna say Binnington should have gotten it.
Yeah, is it really that hard for
No way.
goalies to get it? Because I thought from just like hearing continuously throughout the series, I thought Binnington was just out of his fucking mind.
No, he was hot and cold.
As most goalies are.
Yeah, Rask thought Rask was gonna take it, win or lose, but
I was gonna say I did hear a little bit about that, and they were saying how even if Boston lost the series, that Rask could have taken it.
yeah, I don't know.
How awkward would that
Riley's
be?
a good choice. That's all I gotta
How
say.
old is he?
How old?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure on that.
How awkward would it have been if Rask won it and just like everybody's celebrating and then there's just this one miserable guy just skates out for it and just like, oh, thanks.
Fuck, we lost the series, but I guess I was
when the Conn Smyth when it was being delivered, they knew it wasn't gonna be Rask, and Boston was all booing. But the second that Stanley Cup comes out, not a bad word is said in that arena. Everybody's got their phones out. They're all cheering.
I'd also like to point out, I thought it was kind of funny
Crazy.
how they booed the commissioner, and it just seems like that's a reoccurring theme throughout the United States and all their sports and commissioners. It seems like, I mean, you look at Roger Goodell, booed, obviously. NHL commissioner, booed. I'm not so sure about MLB or NBA.
No, because they barely have an
It's a
audience
tough
for any of
job.
that shit.
That's true. Fair enough.
The World Series, like,
Speaking of no audience, we need to touch on
podcast?
PLL. And the podcast.
The PLL, the Professional Lacrosse League.
Dude,
Premier.
Whip Snakes. Premier Lacrosse.
Anyways,
Duh.
back to wrapping this shit up.
I don't know. So looking at the odds for next year, I think, what did we say? The Lightning opened up at,
Massive odds, I thought it
let me
was.
look
Yeah.
at it.
Tampa's going to be hella good.
NHL odds to win series. Odds to win the 1920 Stanley Cup. So,
The 1920
per
Stanley Cup,
OddsShark.
huh?
Shut the fuck up.
1920.
Via OddsShark, the Tampa Bay extremely early favorites to win at plus 800. Bruins come in at plus 900. Vegas 900. Leafs at plus 1,000. Avalanche plus 1,200. Blues at plus 1,200. And then three-way tie with the Sharks, the Caps, and the Jets at plus 1,600. And then rounding out the top 10 are the Flames at plus 1,800. So not sure if you guys know anything about betting. I, as a gambling man,
As a degenerate.
yeah. So I mean, obviously none of those odds are great, but
It's also 2
it's
weeks
hockey.
after
Yeah,
the season ended.
Yeah.
Trades are flying right now.
yeah. I've seen a lot going down already.
They're wild. Drafts
But the
coming up.
Lightning, the Lightning.
The Lightning
I
are
kind of want to touch on them for a little bit because I mean, came in as heavy favorites to win the entire.
They hit a hot team.
Yeah, you could say that again.
They hit a hot team.
And just got absolutely obliterated. I mean, it wasn't even
Yeah.
close.
Yeah,
But Bobrovsky was the real key to that series for Columbus.
definitely.
Yeah.
You have anyone
still,
else,
like,
even like
One
the
of the
next
best goalies. One of the best goalies in the league.
Yeah.
Argued, man.
I mean, I guess fair enough. So do you think their odds should be the favorites? Should they be the favorites
Yes,
for next
Yeah.
year?
They're the best team.
they're the best team.
I mean, but that hasn't proven a lot.
Well,
If you look at the past,
Stanley
how
Cup
many?
Playoffs
hot streaks have to
are
end.
wild.
Hot streaks have to end eventually, and
Anything
it just
can
was a
happen.
shame that their hot streak ended at the beginning of the playoffs.
I mean, look at the Islanders swept the Penguins. No one thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Canes over Washington in
Yeah.
double OT. I mean,
Yeah. So speaking of hot streaks, the Raptors,
My piss.
NBA Finals. I have to ask it. Is the dynasty over?
No, not
No.
even close.
nope, not over.
Not even close.
I
Not
think it
even
is.
close.
I think it is.
No.
Oh, I just get so giddy talking about this because I think it's over.
No, I don't.
mean-
It's Stephen. If Clay stays, I mean, if Steph and Clay were complete, they were enough to propel them into the playoffs continuously. Before they got KD, they won championships before they got KD. If KD leaves, whatever. If Clay's out for the whole season with injury, okay, sucks. But I guarantee you they'll make a big move in free agency if that's the case.
They're going to take a hit.
It's not going to be
enough to end the entire. I mean, a dynasty doesn't
Okay,
have to win all the.
okay. So if the dynasty's not done yet, is it a sinking ship?
Well, if you look at the ages of everybody, then kinda. Because they're not going to be able to keep up that same like.
So I guess what I'm saying is this the start of the end of the dynasty?
Last year, I
No,
think
not
was the peak. The peak, they can maintain a peak for a little bit, but
I mean, I just feel like KD's going to be out all this year. Clay's going to be out all this year. So you're down to Steph, Draymond, Boogie,
Mhm.
Iggy.
Iggy's always been a solid player. Sean Livingston's been a solid player. You got Quinn Cook. Quinn Cook's he's showed himself over the last 2 years.
Yeah, but so then they're going to go out and if they want, they're going to re-sign KD. They're going to re-sign Clay.
What's
gonna
probably
spend
going to happen is that
all this money on players that can't play next year.
Well,
then
this is probably what's gonna happen. They're
You
probably
have no
gonna
idea what's going to come the next year out of these players.
KD will probably accept his player option or whatever for $30 million this next season because he's not going to play anyways. Why the hell would he go and sign somewhere else when he can get $30 million or whatever the hell it is for not playing?
Well,
He's probably going to do that.
If he can get paid to not play, he's going to take the money to get paid.
So
to
if
not
he's
play.
out for the whole season because he's an idiot and played on a strained Achilles or whatever it was at the time, then
partially torn, I think.
Then he can. Well, now it's completely torn. But
yeah, just
so he's going to get money no matter what, if he plays or not. Where it's going to be, I'm feeling like he's going to stay with the Warriors because I think he has a player option, if I'm not mistaken. Clay, there's talks that he's going to be getting a full 5-year max salary from the Warriors because he's going anywhere else, he's not going to get that type of money, and he can only max out at 4 years.
I did see that.
So if one of the two are going to re-sign, it's going to be Clay because they've won championships with Clay and Steph. KD is a great player. KD is probably top 5 players in the league right now.
Time out. Breaking news. Detroit acquires forward Tony Snell for the 30th pick and John Lure from
one of the most underrated power forwards in the league.
John Lure is back in the state.
Don't even tell me that John Lure ain't one of the most underrated players in the league. The man can put up doubles like nothing.
I guess. I mean, he's how old now?
Completely unrelated note, Michael Bublé has a song with Nelly Furtado called Quando.
Okay.
Highly irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's a completely different note.
Okay.
But John Lure is, dare I say, the most underrated player in the league.
We'll talk about that on a different day.
Yeah, that's for another day.
Yeah. Back to the finals. So as we were saying with the Warriors. Done.
No.
I'm gonna ask a question here. You think if the Bucks had gotten past the Raptors?
Yes, you don't have to finish that. Yes.
All right.
I think they would have had the best shot.
Have won the series.
I mean, the Raptors obviously won it.
Did you think so before the Raptors Golden State series?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think out of the Raptors-Bucks matchup, honestly, if it would have been the Bucks versus Golden State, whoever that matchup is the one that's going to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we are a very, very biased podcast.
Well,
being out of Wisconsin and
if you
being
look
all
at it,
Wisconsin fans.
Not
but
for that.
I also think. I mean, look at the stats from this year. The Bucks were the number 1 team all year, and they continually just routed opponents. They didn't lose more than 2 games back-to-back all season long until that series, where they ended up losing 4 in a row. What the hell happened?
Yeah,
no
so
one knows.
that's the thing. The Raptors got hot at the right time. Like they turned it. If they wouldn't, like, if Fred VanVleet doesn't have that one good game against the Bucks, like he was, what was it, like 0 for 9, 0 for 11, something like that, 0 for 12 from 3 that whole series before the game 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
He started playing really well, and then he had his kid, and he fucking goes balls deep. But
well, that's what you need. I mean, that's what you need in any sport.
Yeah,
it's
performance. Role players win games.
But yeah,
in the not necessarily. I'm just saying, in general, performance from those guys in the playoffs is what makes a series. That's why
it's all about depth. Yep.
Like in hockey, we had so many upsets. I mean, key players came in at the right time.
Don't expect to play out of their minds. We're playing out of their minds. It's
rookie goalie Binnington comes in, plays out his mind, steals Game 7, wins a cup for him.
Yeah,
same thing.
Like the Bucks, every time Pat Connaughton plays really well, they win, and it's because role players like that, players that come in and you don't expect them to do what they do at the end of the game. Like they come in and they torch you because you aren't playing defense on them properly because you're just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Sometimes if a team's deep enough, you can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you would.
But so that's the thing that happened. The Raptors, their role players they started playing really well. Pascal Siakam, dare I say, in the finals and
player
that
of the year.
Bucks player, like the Bucks series, dare I say that at points he was more deserving of the MVP trophy than Kawhi. I think he would, if Kawhi didn't win it, it definitely should have gone to Pascal. Pascal Siakam had
that's a hot take,
finals.
but I would agree.
Spicy P was fucking heating. He was heating up.
Hot nickname, by the way.
I love Spicy P's nickname.
Yeah.
That's such a good.
Yeah. So, speaking of depth, or should I say lack thereof, now, the Los Angeles Lakers acquiring Anthony Davis for
Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball,
Big Ball
3 first-round picks. Too much.
What?
I'm not a big basketball guy, but that doesn't sound good.
It's too much for one player.
Fun fact that I heard today: the Lakers currently have 6 guys on contract, and 3 of them they're trying to package in a deal
Oh man.
to create more space for a max contract. I think they're gonna try to play
Mulder.
5v4 all year.
Well, Alabama did it. Trade for Colin Sexton. He's used to it. Get him with LeBron again.
Oh my god.
I think honestly the Pelicans are going to be the winner of that. AD again, top 5.
Well, of course they're going to be the winner of that.
But if you look at it now, they cleared AD, who didn't want to be there in the first place. You bring back in like lower salary, to be honest. Like even at 3 players, I'm pretty sure it's lower salary. On top of that,
it's all looking up.
Julius Randle
get
doesn't want
Zion.
in. They have enough for a max contract, and they're talking about trading for Bradley Beal.
They're going to get Zion.
I would sure hope they do. Not fucking shit their britches.
If they take anyone other than Zion in the first overall pick, speaking of, that's tomorrow. Draft
coverage starts tomorrow.
Okay, so
I don't know if the draft is tomorrow. They might just start.
I think it's tomorrow,
like stuff like that.
But
we'll be watching close.
If they take anyone other than Zion, I would shit my pants.
I heard rumblings that if they don't deal the 4th pick away, which normally if they were to
I 100%
deal,
think they will.
If they deal the 4th pick away, they're probably going to get Bradley Beal because they are very interested in Bradley Beal. If they don't, there have been talks that they could possibly end up with both RJ and Zion because the Knicks don't want RJ. That has been a weird, a weird statement that has been said around. Like the Knicks don't want RJ.
The Knicks are trying to tank again?
Probably.
When you have the 4th
last
pick,
10
but
years
you didn't get
tanks.
the 1, so you want the 1. So fuck it, we'll tank the 4th pick and get the 1st pick.
Yeah, they apparently they want to take like a small forward or something. I forgot which one. He only played like 5 or 6 games this year. I don't know.
Interesting. So then a new trade came through today. Mike Conley. I know Zach. Hits close to home there.
Wow.
You love your Conley.
Mike Conley's all right. What I think is the weirdest part of that is that what the Grizzlies got back.
They got so much back for a guy who is. He's like what, 34?
Everybody hates on Mike Conley. Everybody hates. Mike Conley's been a scapegoat. He's not older than 34.
How old is he? I'm
pretty sure he's
right
just
now.
like 32.
Mike Conley, age.
Mike Conley is going to be 32.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Mike Conley.
He averaged. Oh my.
Mike Conley over the past. So let's look at this.
Yeah.
Over the past 5 seasons, Mike Conley last year averaged 21.1 points, 17 to 18 averaged 17.1, 16 to 17 averaged 20.5. The year before that, 15.3, and the year before that, 15.8. The man is a 14.9 career scorer, and that's including his rookie season where he only averaged 9.4. Every year in his career, he's averaged at least 10.9 points or more, barring his rookie season. He's career averaging 5.7 assists, 1.5 steals, 3 rebounds, and he is a career 44% shooter, which is 37.5 from 3-point. I think the Jazz made a phenomenal deal.
Oh yeah. So
because now you have Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell as your starting guard combo, and you can relegate, or even you could have, with his athleticism, you could have Donovan play the 3, and you could still have Ricky Rubio in the starting lineup.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert is going to be at the 5 no matter what.
Yeah.
And Derek Favors, they better keep Derek Favors. That's the biggest part.
That's still 4 or 5 strong.
That's a great line. That honestly, that right there, I would say I feel that's a pretty good playoff run.
I just Googled Mike Conley trade, and the first thing that came up is from ESPN. Mike Conley trade puts Utah in finals contention.
Yeah, because
hot
they
take
are.
Or
no, I don't think that's a hot take. Donovan Mitchell is quickly propelling up the boards to be one of the best players in the league right now. Rudy Gobert is a defensive stud and is quickly developing an offensive game because he mans the paint. He will finish in the paint if you give him the ball. Derek Favors, I love my great rebounding, like 14-point average, power forwards. That's why I love John Moore. Even though it's not 14 points, not quite, doesn't have enough minutes to do so. But Derek Favors is a very good starting power forward. I already said Donovan. Ricky Rubio went off last year, at least at the start for the Jazz. So I think the new system is treating him well. I fucking hate Joe Ingles, but the man can kill you from the outside.
What I don't understand is you like John Lure.
You bet your sweet ass I like
not Joe Ingles, but
Fuck
they are
Joe
both
Ingles.
old. Or sorry, yeah, they're both old, tall, white guys that can shoot 3.
Just because you're old, tall, and
they
white,
are literally the exact same player.
They are not the exact
but
same.
But you hate one of them.
Joe Ingles. Oh, I fucking hate Joe Ingles.
Please explain.
I don't know how I can. I honestly don't know how. It's just,
who I hate?
I hate Matthew Dellavedova. I think it's just Australian. I like Patty Mills though.
No, you know who I hate? Someone else that was involved in this trade.
Grayson Allen. I think.
Fuck Grayson.
Allen just needs more playing time. I think he'll be pretty decent.
That's a prick that I wish never would have gotten in the league. But what are you gonna do?
No matter what.
Yeah. But yeah, Grayson Allen, Kyle Korver, Jameson Crowder. And then 23rd pick in tomorrow's draft and a future first rounder. All for Mike Conley?
That's a lot. I mean, Mike Conley is kind of overpaid. By kind of, I mean he is overpaid.
A lot.
He's good. Do I think like what is it? 35 million, close to 40 million, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Whatever.
It's a lot.
We'll look at this. Let's look at his salary.
Okay, well, while you look that up.
All right, I got it right here. Last season, it was $28.53 million. For the stats that he put out, 21 points, 1.3 steals, 6.4 assists. For 21 and 6 and 3,
no,
20 million maybe.
I'll pass.
28 million? 28.5 million? Nah. But I think the new system could definitely treat him well. He'll have a big man like Marc Gasol was when Marc Gasol was still in Memphis and during like the prime of that connection in Rudy Gobert. He'll actually have a guard with him that can actually do something. Like, who did the Grizzlies really have? This last year, wasn't it like Avery Bradley? Like, he'll have pieces that he can actually work with. He can facilitate more. He may not have to score nearly as much, but he can definitely be more of a facilitator and get more than 6 assists.
Yeah, and I mean, so Memphis gets back 2 picks, one this year, and then it just has a future first rounder. So we don't know. I mean, that could be. I don't know what the rules are on that. But so they got. God, I fucking hope not. But 23rd this year, I mean, I could be looking at maybe like a Tyler Harrell.
True. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think Tyler Hero is gonna get picked up by a bigger market team.
Yeah, probably higher. I would think higher.
Yeah, I from like the mock drafts that I've seen Tyler Hero is like ranked. I think at the highest I've seen him is like 17th.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he'd fit in fine there. I mean, he's spent 1 year in Kentucky.
Tyler Hero's an athletic dude and he's a good shooter. So I mean, fuck, he might even get drafted by Golden State. You don't even know. That could be their missing link for Clay. The next Clay Thompson, Tyler Hero.
The dynasty is over.
It's not.
It is over.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I have for that. I'm not a huge NBA guy. You probably cover more NBA than I would. Bucks are my team. That's about it.
Pelicans.
What is basketball?
Basketball.
But Jake, what you do know is golf. So
I do know golf quite a bit.
talk to us about the U.S. Open.
Well,
Give us your spiel.
congrats to Gary Woodland, 2019 U.S. Open champion.
Who the fuck is Gary Woodland, first off?
I will tell you all about Gary Woodland. He's a great guy, brings a great attitude to the course, positive energy. I don't know if you guys have seen videos circulating with him, special Olympian who played with him at the Waste Management Open, and hell of a golfer, actually. Their videos are awesome. Go watch them. I mean, it's safe to say, I don't know if you guys watched it. Everyone was rooting for this guy to finally bag a major, and he did so in spectacular fashion. Holding off the Brooks Koepka.
Brooks
who is
Koepka.
hot right now.
Best golfer in the world. I don't watch golf, but best golfer in the world.
He is. You better start. He's killing it.
I watched the Masters. Does that count?
Ricky Fowler.
Who?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I thought he was really struggling. I was watching that last round. I thought he was getting rattled, spraying the ball around. No. Both of them, actually. But Woodland, I thought he was spraying the ball around. And the second I doubted him, he came in clutch with some beautiful ballsy shots. I mean, 3 woods from down under, straight at the pin. Short-sided.
Is he Australian?
No, American. Thank you.
Okay. Had to.
And ends the round with a birdie on 18. 30-foot dagger to kill it.
Oh, man. Damn, I'm going to go look up this video right now.
Absolutely insane. It was
his putt.
Gary had a rough last 3 years. He was 0-7 when leading after 54 holes before the Open.
Oof. 0 and what?
0-7 when leading after 54 holes before this tournament.
Is that LeBron?
In March of 17, the Woodland family lost one of their unborn twins. One was born 10 weeks premature.
This is hitting a somber note.
Jackson weighed 3 pounds and survived a healthy young stud today.
Stud, huh?
In February 18, he wins the Waste Management Open. Listen to this. Dedicates it to his lost child. And now he wins the Open on Father's Day with his dad, Greenside. And, oh, by the way, Woodlands are expecting identical twin girls in August. Big. Koepka, in an interview as of late, explained his initial goals of making cuts when he first entered the PGA. Since then, he has built up the mindset that he is prepared to win every tournament he enters.
Did you guys hear what he said in the one interview if they asked him if his hands got cold and they told him he should get coffee?
No,
I haven't.
He pulled a typical Florida move and said, I was born and raised in Florida. I've never had a hot drink in my life. Literally said, I've never had a hot drink. And the guy's
he was one of the.
And he's like, no.
He was one of the few guys that was not complaining about the weather. Or not the weather, sorry. Course conditions. It's the fucking U.S. Open.
Can we talk about that guy that, was it Patrick Reed?
Yeah, we'll talk about that after I finish this.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. I hate disrespecting the golf course as a golfer, but damn, that was see Patrick Reed do that. Anyways,
I'm so confused. Oh, did he break? Is that
Just-
breaking his club?
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. So Koepka was absolutely killing it. His last 4 majors, you want to guess what his positions were?
So I
Missionary
know
doggy style.
Okay.
Cone
okay.
Bone,
First, tied for second.
Reverse Cowgirl.
First, second. The man has
Number one
not
golfer in the
finished
world.
outside
What
of
can I
the
say?
top 2 in the last 4 majors.
That's pretty impressive.
So
That's-
we're
Not to mention his wins outside of majors.
so we're a pro Koepka podcast, correct?
I like the guy. I don't know.
Okay, good.
I have
That's all
nothing
I
wrong.
needed to
He
know.
speaks the truth about golf getting boring in the middle.
He did say that. Yep.
Did he?
Just
Yeah,
cut
he
out
said that
holes,
on a-
Missed that.
What 7 through 12?
Yeah, he
Or
said
something like that.
he did a podcast with it was on Big Cat. It was on Part of My Take, wasn't it?
True.
I think so.
He said that at the beginning it's just kind of like, all right, yep, no, let's see how the course is going, and then holes basically 4 through 14 or whatever, 4 through 13, it's just
Yeah,
kind of
something
like
that.
a blur or a blackout, and then at the end it's just like, well, I only got a few left. I got to keep going for this whatever it is.
Yeah, that's mentally
Can you
taxing.
vouch for
You
that?
can get through those. Yeah, I can.
I mean, personally, I can't even get through 9, so
Personally,
I mean, you shoot like it's 18.
I struggle
on
in the
9.
beginning. I
I
struggle
lose
in the
about as
beginning.
many balls as most people would on 18 and 9. So actually, scratch that. I lose about as many balls in 4
One hole.
as most people. I was gonna say
Alright.
4 as most people lose in 18, but
Last big open. Well, yes, last big open story. Victor Hovland, I believe, drops a 4 under to open or at the Open to take the lowest score by an amateur in the U.S. Open, beating Jack Nicklaus by 2 strokes.
That dude's gonna be the best golfer ever.
Impressive. Not
Um,
necessarily. Impressive.
question:
Good for him.
was Devin Bling in the U.S. Open? Can you
I
look that
have
up?
no clue who you're talking about, but I will.
He's an amateur, but I bet on him in the Masters to be the best amateur because I watched him hole in 1 a par 3, so I was like, I'm betting on this dude.
Oh, that makes sense.
And yeah, so for a while, hey, for a while he was the
Let's talk
best
about-
amateur. He was the best amateur for the first
No
round.
way.
Yeah, for the first round, he was the best amateur, and then he just kind of shit
took
the
an-
bed and
he
ended
took
up
a-
being
he took a
4th
Frankie-
best amateur.
He took a Frankie betting hit. That's what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about, except for
fucking
yesterday I
moron.
lost. the last
Anyways,
bet.
Patrick
Saw
Reed.
a hole
Let's
in
talk
one
about
a
Patrick
hole.
Reed.
It was the Masters. You don't hole in 1 a lot, so
I've never.
That's
broken
not
a
true at all. I mean, it is true. In the general.
Patrick Reed.
Just
Do you see
Fuck
his
this.
his reasoning for it, or his not his,
Oh my god,
but his
the attempt
his
of a chip,
rebuttal?
no.
the attempt of a chip before he broke it was so bad though.
I
Isn't it,
can't
didn't it only
wait.
go like 6
Oh
feet?
my,
I want you to
not
hit,
even.
hit a
It
chip
did not
out of
even
that
go that
rough,
far.
though. I
Like,
want
it
you to
looked like
chip
it just
out of that
went-
rough.
I'll do it with my putter.
No,
Yeah,
you-
I wouldn't be
Not at
shocked.
the U.S. Open.
No, actually, the grass was fucking as long as my dong.
So 2 inches.
I didn't know he was on the
Mhm.
green.
At least 6.
No. Okay, so he snaps his club, and already that's a regrettable move. I mean, he's going to take the heat for that. And he said, how did he play it off? He played it off as, I wasn't hurting the golf course. True. Don't hurt the golf course. I wasn't hurting other people.
True.
Had to get it out.
Hurt their feelings.
No, I don't
You
give a
fucking
I don't give a
fag.
shit.
What are you talking about?
I don't give a shit if you break your club. Other than, I mean, it's just stay classy on the golf course. I mean, I guess I don't have issues with it other than being a golfer. I know that you don't.
You know how expensive golf clubs are, and you don't want to see them get broke.
Well, as a PGA Tour professional who has won before,
I don't think you're really concerned about how much your clubs
I'm not
cost.
really concerned about that.
Well,
But
I would be.
as
That's
a
why I never break my clubs. Not
as a player,
not due to my lack of strength, but
your
due to my
clubs
lack
cost
of money.
$5.
You're probably right.
You whittled your own clubs.
What can I say?
Are we not talking about Patrick Reed? I mean,
Yeah, if that's all you have to say.
yeah. It's not a classy
Okay.
move, but whatever. Does Phil Mickelson ever complete the career Grand Slam? He is recorded saying that he doesn't think he will ever win a U.S. Open. Thoughts?
Is that all he needs?
That's all he needs, the U.S. Open. He has just turned 49.
I was gonna ask how old.
I don't know how much longer he's gonna golf. I've seen his commercials.
Hey, Mac can still golf.
I know he can still golf. I don't know how long he's gonna keep doing that. I mean, he's got those commercials for what? Back pain, knee pain, fucking I don't know.
Well, yeah.
You don't know.
Golfer's life.
Well, yeah.
Tiger made a comeback, so why can't he?
Okay.
That's going to go into my next point. I was going to say that Phil will never win a U.S. Open. That is only because of his play style. He has been close, though, and that's what confuses me. U.S. Open is for hitting tight drives and staying in the fairway. Phil is not a guy who can do that consistently.
He's a lefty. Does he slice like me?
No.
I don't think he'd be on the tour if he sliced like you.
He can hit a ball, but
he wouldn't be
when
golfing if he sliced like me.
When he struggles, he really, really struggles, and his main thing that saves him is bringing it back in from really tough shots.
Me too.
So I don't think he can win a U.S. Open. Sorry, just based on the way that it is set up. On the other hand, it's I also bet on Tiger never to win another tournament. So much less the Masters. So
well, I mean, he started out really hot this tournament, didn't he? For the Open?
No.
I thought he was like 4 under at one point.
I don't know. I wasn't as involved in the beginning. But he was. I know he bogeyed 4 straight holes. Two of
you know who would never do that?
Second?
Ricky Fowler.
Brooks Koepka.
Brooks went 3 under the last day. That's pretty
exactly. Sweet. He would never hit 4 bogeys in a row.
Not necessarily.
All right.
The PGA Tour is tomorrow. Starts the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands.
TPC.
I bet I've golfed that. I've probably golfed on that one on the golf course on Xbox. If not, maybe I'll hit it up quick. Go test it out, see if I could, play well. I'll be the caddy, tell him how it plays.
Stay tuned with that, and we will see how that turns out. Some interesting picks from experts, but we'll see.
Brooks.
Ricky Fowler.
Ricky had a good...
Devin Bling.
I love Ricky. I love Ricky Fowler.
Did you see Ricky's...
Devin Bling, that's my pick.
Ricky's first round at the, I believe it was the Open, was unreal, and then he went positive in his second round and was just... I don't even know if he made the cut.
My boy Ricky he's going to bounce back. He's going to win it. He's going to win the Travelers Championship.
I like Ricky Fowler a lot.
Ricky Fowler's my boy.
He's got to close, though.
Oh, do you say he has to close or he has clothes? Because the stuff he wears on the course is fucking phenomenal.
Both of it. What do you think of the mullet, dude?
I haven't seen
dirty.
I haven't seen him.
It's
some
gross.
Mullet. I need to find it. Ricky Fowler is. I love Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler.
Right. Well, you look that up.
Move on.
I was just gonna say let's close the back door with the MLB, and
Ooh,
Well,
Mickey.
we'll just kind of give a brief summary of what happened today.
He
Then,
finished 43rd, tied for
Yeah.
43rd.
So he did make the cut.
+1.
Yikes.
All right.
Not great.
He was leading in the beginning. So.
Yikes.
That's all that matters.
So in today's news in baseball, first off, I know this from having him on my fantasy team. Luckily, I sat him today, but Blake Snell
Tremendous
was
today. He was tremendous.
absolutely atrocious.
He was great today. He was
For
so
anyone
good.
that doesn't know, Blake Snell,
Didn't make it out of the
pitcher for
first
the
inning.
Tampa Bay Rays, who
No
also
way.
won the Cy Young in the AL last year. He
Today.
threw 39 pitches today.
0.1
He got a
innings.
loss. He got one out. He also gave up 6 earned runs on 2 hits and 4 walks. What the fuck?
Negative 22
And,
points.
I mean, granted, it was to the Yankees. But what?
Granted,
the
it was
fuck?
to the Yankees. What? Judge and Giancarlo are down in the minors on rehab stints.
False. Giancarlo's back. He was
Is
back
he
yesterday.
back?
He was back yesterday.
Did he hit a home run today? What
I
did
don't know,
Giancarlo
probably.
do?
But Blake Snell, Cy Young Award winner last year. He's 4-5 with a 3.7 ERA.
Giancarlo
In his
didn't play
last
today.
4 starts, he's put up -5, 22, -2, and -22.
Giancarlo did not play today.
Well, he played yesterday because he made that catch.
DJ LeMahieu, Luke Voigt, Gary Sanchez. Looks like Andrew Romine came in at one point. Edwin Encarnacion, Aaron Hicks, Gleyber Torres, Cameron Maben, Gio Urshela, and Brett Gardner.
Urshela, but yeah. Yeah.
And he gave
Blake
up
Snell shit the
6
bed.
earned runs after 1 out.
The thing that gets me is he only gave up 2 hits.
Yeah, because he walked
He
the
just
shit
pitched
out of them.
that bad. Yeah, I mean, other scores across the MLB. Let's see
Brewers lost
here.
again.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a minute here. Marlins Cardinals 1-1, bottom of the 10th right now. I'm pretty sure Yamamoto started this game again. No, he pitched yesterday.
Yamamoto plays for Miami.
Yeah. I said Marlins St. Louis 1-1, bottom 10.
Oh, I thought you said Arizona, Colorado.
Nope, that's the game
I'm
below
a
it.
fucking moron.
But scoring for that one's down a little bit, finally.
Yeah.
Other news. Astros, they got swept by the Reds.
The Reds are a
walk-off.
dark horse.
Yeah. Yankees 12-1, talked about that. Nationals beat the Phillies in doubleheader game 1, 6-2. A's beat the Orioles 8-3. Orioles are just I'm pretty sure they're on pace to be worse than last year. Which I didn't know was possible.
I don't think they are. How many? I want to look at this because last year the Orioles
are 21-53.
Weren't they the last team to 20 wins or something like that?
Probably.
This year, probably. Last year, probably.
I'm gonna look this up. I need to find out what they were last year.
Wait,
So-
Keon Broxton's on the...
Yeah, dude, they picked up Keon Broxton. You didn't know that?
I mean, he's batting 188, so... But,
Did you
yeah.
expect Keon Broxton to be succeeding?
No.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. As you look that up, Mariners beat the Royals 8-2. Nationals beat the Phillies 2-0 in doubleheader game 2, so they swept them in the doubleheader.
Last year, Baltimore was 47 and 115.
Okay, never mind. They're not on pace for that.
Yeah.
It'll be close. They could go on a rough streak. Well, I mean, they're going on a rough patch right now. They've lost, like, their last 6, I'm pretty sure. Pirates beat the Tigers 8-7. Angels, they have been hot. They beat the Blue Jays 11-6. Mets
Calling
fall
right
to
now,
the...
more people are going to learn the name David Fletcher.
Yeah,
St. Louis has
Tyler
bases
Stella,
loaded.
David Fletcher, Shohei Ohtani, Justin Upton's back, Mike Trout, Tyler Skaggs. They could be a good team.
David Fletcher is going to be one of those. He's going to be like I bet you he's going to be like a Scooter Gennett guy. Not as much power, but he's going to play. He's going to start for the Angels, and then he's going to get underappreciated like Scooter was in Milwaukee, and then he's going to get shipped out somewhere, and he is going to go
Light it up.
Off. Yep, probably.
and find a new home.
We'll see.
Dodgers
Braves-
are up 6-1 at the bottom
Yeah.
of the fourth against
Yeah.
San Francisco.
San Fran.
San Fran is not a good
We'll touch
offensive
on that one.
team
Just-
but
Yeah.
6-1 though.
Braves
Yeah.
beat the Mets 7-2. Cubs beat the White Sox 7-3 in the Chicago series. Indians beat the Rangers 10-4, and the Red Sox just finished up on the Twins 9-4.
Kyle
Currently,
Gibson.
like I said, Marlins Cardinals 1-1, bottom of the 10th. Ooh, bases are loaded right now for the Cardinals. So we can see this one ending here soon. Harrison Bader's up with Sergio Romo. And Bader just struck out swinging. Rockies up 4-2 on the Diamondbacks, and then like Jake said, Dodgers are up 6-1 on the Giants. Yeah, we didn't talk about the Brewers because they're relevant and playing like shit right now.
They're also
We can
hitting.
talk about them if we want. Today's game really
I mean,
pissed
when you
me
go on
off.
8,
They're picking up
I
teams
didn't-
that are hot.
I didn't get to watch the game today since I was at work, so I didn't really.
Not
I don't
necessarily
know.
good teams.
It's
They're just picking up the
yeah,
teams that
no.
are hot.
It started early and it was not good. It was 3-1, bottom of the second, I think. and
3-1.
then
But they're up 5. They're up
It
7-5.
eventually it was like 5-3, and then I know Grandal hit I was not watching it at the time, but Grandal
Okay.
hit a 3-run home run to make it 7-5, and then the next inning, Jeffries gave up a 3-run bomb to Franmil Reyes, who, mind you, is not even an everyday player, and that made it 8-7, and that's what it finished at. So
Franmil Reyes may
anyone-
not be an everyday player, but Franmil Reyes has been hitting the shit out of the ball as of late.
yeah,
Who saw
he
the
does have power.
miscue? By,
I didn't.
What?
It was, I don't know who popped it up, but it was popped up. I was just walking through and I flipped it on and saw it, and it was popped up and right in front of home plate, and 6 Brewers circled it, and no one moved to grab it.
Jeez.
Did in between them all.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
I mean, it was like
Also,
Kane the
on a
other
good
night.
note, he's been pure shit. But on a good
Yeah.
note, Yelich homered again. 447
That's a given
feet.
now.
It was a missile. I'm pretty sure it was his longest one of the year.
Absolutely
If he didn't
rocket.
play at Miller Park, he wouldn't hit as many home runs.
Yeah. Haters can
Javi-
stop fucking talking.
Javi Carrillo.
At Javi, fuck you. Also,
Even though his average home run goes over 390 feet, which is plenty to clear almost every single park in the league, maybe except for
Yeah.
dead center.
Also, Brewers just got swept
Well, yeah.
by the
I
Padres.
mean, if you go through a series and you have 18 straight innings where you don't
The pitchers
Oh,
don't score.
Woodruff,
Miami got out of
Davies. Ugh.
Miami got out of bases loaded.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah. I do want to touch on this fun fact. The NL West versus the NL Central. So the
Maybe
NL
not the-
Central, the NL Central is the Cubs at 40-33, followed by the Brewers a half game back at 40-34, then the Cardinals at 37-35, the Reds at 34-38, and the Pirates at 33-40, which is kind of shocking. 7 games back. 7 games separate the first place and the last place team in that division. Then
the NL West,
They just pound the
the
shit
NL
out
West,
of each
you have the Dodgers,
who have run away with it already.
49-25. Yep, they are running away. We all expected them to win the division. Not a surprise
Yeah.
there. The surprise is that they're up by 10 games on the Rockies, who are 38-34 right now.
But only 6.5 separate the Rockies, the Diamondbacks,
Yep.
the Padres, and the Giants.
Yeah, and the Giants in last are 31-40, which, mind you, is also worse than Pittsburgh's 33-40. But so a friend of mine, who you both know, also in our fantasy league, also a Dodgers fan, likes to try and tell me that the NL West is better than the NL Central.
Thoughts,
Please.
I'm torn between this. So I agree to an extent because obviously they do have teams that.
Wait, you agree that the West is better?
So listen, Linda. So the Dodgers are better than any team in the NL Central right now. So yes, I understand if he's a biased Dodgers fan, that right there alone is going to tell you that he's going to say the NL West is better. However, the NL Central right now is more competitive, and you can't deny that because the amount of games that separate each team and the top team from the bottom team is the lowest across the board.
That's what I say.
I was thinking
makes the best
at
division
this point
was because they literally just all beat up on each other, and it's
they beat the piss out of each other. It's like the Metropolitan Division in NHL.
Yeah, well then you have the West, and it's like whoever's playing the Dodgers is going to lose, and then everyone else is a fight, but the Dodgers are probably going to win whatever series they go into.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
It's not saying it's the best division. NL Central is far from the best division.
Mm-hmm.
But the NL Central, as of right now, is the most competitive. Not at the highest level of competition at the moment, but it is the most competitive.
Mm-hmm.
When your worst team in your division is 8 games under 500, then you're doing something right for the division. Like all the teams are doing something right at least.
Yeah.
The Pirates are the worst team in the division, and they're 7 games out of the wild card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's saying quite a bit right there. So I want to go into fantasy a little bit. Not much.
One thing about this before I have a question for you guys. See how to word it. So, say you're playing. Would you rather have that tough division that you're always competitive in going into playoffs, whereas you're the Dodgers and you're beating the shit out of every team in your division? Does that matter?
If personally, I would want to be in the NL Central because then no matter what team you're on, there's something to chase for a longer period of time. At some point, the Dodgers are just going to fucking run with it. They're already starting to run with it. They could keep it up, and by the end of it, you see second place is 25 games back.
So on that note, there's another argument I'd like to bring up. You can finish whatever you're saying first.
But
I'm good.
Personally, it's like I would rather, if it were up to me, I'd want to be in the NL Central because it's competitive. It doesn't matter if you're playing at the highest level or not. If you're a true sports person and you truly like to win and win or at things, then you want a good competition. I would rather lose a competitive game than win a blowout, to be honest.
Yeah.
So this is going to ruffle your feathers.
Do you think it matters going into the playoffs what your previous... I don't know if it matters in baseball. I don't know.
Listen to this argument. This is going to ruffle you a little bit. Would you rather be a Kansas City Royals fan for the last 10 years, where you at least get one ring and make the World Series a couple times, or a Dodgers fan where you make the playoffs every year, but you're not going to get a World Series?
They haven't won a World Series.
They have not won a World Series in the last 10 years.
They choked too. They've choked 2 times, haven't they?
Yep.
Yeah, that.
In a row, right?
They've also won the division 6 times straight, and they haven't won a World Series.
I mean, realistically, as a fan, no matter what, you want to see a championship. It doesn't matter at what costs, kind of. You want to see a championship.
Yeah.
If the Brewers trade Christian Yelich, but it's trading him to get a ring, and they win a ring, I'm gonna hate that trade. But if we win a ring out of it,
that's never gonna happen.
I know, but worst case scenario like that, hypothetically,
and if we do, it wouldn't lead to us getting a ring. But
I'm just saying. If I would hate that trade at the beginning and as soon as it was made. However, if it means you get a ring out of it, as a fan of your sport, as a team, if you have a team and you've liked that team and you love that team for a long time, no matter what, you want a ring.
You want that ring.
I would love to go to Milwaukee and celebrate during a World Series parade. Yeah. I don't give a shit if it's I endure 5 straight years of sub 60 win ball. If it's all for that ring, I would rather be a team that won. I'd rather be a fan of a team that won a ring or that got a ring.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I want to say I want to watch a successful team, regular season team, that ring, the championship is
A ring is a ring.
championship. It means a lot.
If you look across all sports, when it comes playoffs, regular season means fuck all besides your seed.
Yeah.
Because
All right, so
I'll go for it.
So we're both saying the Royals.
Oh yeah, I'd
We're all
rather be
saying
a
the
Royals
Royals.
fan.
Okay, good. So here's a trade that went through in our league. I'm giving you 2 minutes, Zach. I want to hear your thoughts. 2 minutes. Xander Bogaerts, Wade Miley for Merrill Kelly, Bryce Harper, Tommy La Stella. Made 2 days ago before Merrill Kelly's start yesterday, which he got 0 points in. Go.
Merrill Kelly's a bag of shit. Straight off the bat. I had him earlier in our league, and he shat the bed. Granted, his last 3 starts before the one that he made against Colorado yesterday, he had been going off, but then again, sometimes turds shine. Xander Bogaerts is normally always he's a solid hitter, and defense doesn't really matter. But he's normally a solid hitter, not normally one that's gonna just explode for high offensive numbers. Tommy La Stella is a fluke this year, I personally believe.
Something like what, 308?
He's
like that?
hitting 291 at the moment with 15 home runs and 40 RBIs. It's already starting to cool down. I think his start was a fluke. I think it was just a change of scenery, did him well, and he was playing his best ball in his opportunities, but now I think his opportunities are going to start to dwindle with David Fletcher and all these other young guys that are coming up because he's going to start hitting the schneid here. Bryce Harper is a disappointment among disappointments. I mean, when you're the cover athlete for MLB The Show and you get over $300 million to come play somewhere and you shit the bed and put up sub 250 average, not even 20 home runs at that rate, and if you're a power hitter, and not even like he's at 49 RBIs, you're not driving in enough runs, you're not hitting well enough, and he's not really known exquisitely for his defense. And then the pitchers, like I said, Merrill Kelly's a bag of shit, turd shine sometimes. Wade Miley, I think, is one of the more underappreciated pitchers in the league, and whoever has him, I think, is really getting a diamond in the rough on that one. So
you're saying the Xander and Wade Miley side is better?
I would have kept Xander Bogaerts and Wade Miley and whoever the fuck else it was. Dakota Hudson, I think. It was Dakota Hudson, who I don't really know too much about, but he looks like he's having an okay season so far.
Yeah, no, I dropped Dakota Hudson because I needed to free up space.
Yeah, but I would have kept Xander Bogaerts and Wade Miley.
Okay. Look a little bit at the scores in the league this week. Looks like we have close matchup between Bartolo Colonoscopy, Braden, and Yait, Will's team. 166, 161 right now. Boot Scooter and your team. I was right by a Blackman. Great name. Pretty close there. 154, 143. He's up on you.
Kyle Gibson didn't shit the bed today and get negative 13. I would be up.
Yeah, probably. And then we have Javi, barely not legal, up on Zach Phelps and LB's home for Christmas. 161, 130 right now. Jake is having a bounce back week this week. He's up. Well, yeah. Jake and Austin has Crohn's disease, which, yeah, you can go fuck off. I don't.
Against Yee brother.
Yeah, he's up on Yee brother, Logan Brennan. 166, 94. And then my one and only Dick Slaps only team up on Kratz Test Dummies, 149, 94 so far.
Damn, dude. Lucas Giolito got his first loss of the day, or first loss of the year.
Damn, how many points did he get?
He got -5.
Ooh.
It was against the Cubbies, unfortunate, and that what is it, state rival, or what is it, the
Yeah, the crosstown.
crosstown rivalry.
Yeah, something like that.
He went 4.1 innings, got the loss, gave up 6 with 9 Ks though, and 7 hits, 3 walks.
I mean, still, and I'd say I don't want to say elite yet.
He's
But
10-1 with 95
still-
strikeouts and 2.22 ERA right now.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I'd like
actually, I
to
don't
look
know
at
if
his
it's
advanced stats to see what those say, but
It's his second loss. I don't know.
he's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin also had a pretty big day today.
Yeah, he did. So I guess we'll finally close the back door here with the power rankings for that league. So at the top, welcome back, young son. Zach Beekman. I was raped by a black man. So
Fuck
you won
yeah.
last week. You did not get raped, but you did the raping. and
As I normally
pillaging
do.
And whatever you want to call it. 485 to 265 to a team who was 8-2.
Hate to do it to my boy Jake Thibodeau, but I mean it's a dog eat dog world. And I fucking ate
all about
every
doggy
inch.
stuff.
I ate every inch of that dog, starting with the ass.
Well, I mean, I'd say Charlie Blackman did it. But
Jake is the
he
one that
played in
should
the
be saying my
highest-
team's name.
He played in the highest scoring series in what?
pretty
How
sure-
long did they say?
I don't know. I thought it said MLB
Was
history.
it like
but I couldn't-
96 runs in
That was
3 games?
ridiculous.
It
He
was
put up
92 or
68
96.
points by
Yeah.
himself this week.
He
He
went.
hit
What was
6
it?
home runs. He went 21 for 37, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, 12 runs. That's insane.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, I got big boost from
Timeout,
Kettle
timeout,
Marte
timeout.
too.
Breaking news. Mike Trout hit 2 home runs tonight,
Did he?
both with exit velocities over 110.
Well, yeah.
And he
Mike
had
Trout's
7
the greatest
RBIs.
player to ever play the game.
It's horrible.
I don't care what
Um,
anybody says. No one can ever argue that Mike Trout is not the greatest player in the history of baseball.
Yeah, we're not doing that right now. So then you had Kettle Marte, 48 points,
Dude's a beast.
and Gibson, 33 points.
Dude's
He had an
streaky.
8-inning win. That's pretty good.
He's
Only threw
streaky.
88
Yeah. And then
pitches,
what
though.
the fuck did he do today?
Yeah.
Negative 13.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about your team?
I mean,
You only had 2 players.
you make
negative.
fun of me because I love utility players, but those utility players really fucking they strike up some good points.
Yeah, whatever.
Kettle Marte and David Fletcher and fucking
Yeah. David
everyone
Fletcher didn't
else.
have a hot week last week, but
no, he's hitting under
Everyone has a down
300, but he's hitting high 200s and he's getting
Mhm.
consistent starts. He doesn't
Yeah.
strike out a shit ton.
everyone has a down week. So number 2, so obviously you stayed at 1 from 1 last week. This might be a surprise to some. Zach Phelps, LB's home for Christmas, jumping from 4 to 2. He also put a beat down on Braden and Bartolo colonoscopy. Yeah, he cleaned out his colon. 470, 335.
And I think it's worth stating that a lot of people probably won't think that he should be as high as what he is because of his record at 6-5.
Yeah. Before you say
also,
that,
would
could
you
you tell
like to-
me?
would you like
yeah,
to,
sure. I'll do the
Give your
honors.
disclaimer on why this 6-5 team is currently ranked number
This
2.
fucking kid is 6-1 in his last 7. Please stop.
Paul Goldschmidt homers on a fly ball to left field.
That would be a homer.
St. Louis 2-1 win. In the
Bottom 11? 11? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so LB's Chris Sale, 49 points last week, 13 innings. LB's put up 42. Yikes. Okay. Marcus Strom. I think it's Marcus? Matt Strom.
Matt Strom.
Negative 14. And is it Trevor Richards? Yep. Negative 10. And then
Yep.
Hector Neris. Yeah, Hector Neris just had a bad week. He has been really good other than his one I think he had like one negative 12-point outing last week.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I had him at the beginning of the year, and he was doing okay, and then he just started shitting the bed, so I dropped him. Phelps picked him up, obviously, as we can see here, and he's been pretty good. Honestly, I don't know what to expect from him after trade deadline. He could get moved. That's what I've heard. So, yeah. Otherwise, somebody could get moved into Philly. So, something to watch out for. He might not be a closer after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than that, Phelps used 10 starters. That's pretty good. Yeah. Then staying at 3, the person that lost that match, Braden and Bartolo. Yeah, I couldn't really move him down. Couldn't obviously move him over LBs after losing to him, getting just absolutely cleaned. Aaron Sanchez really fucked him over there, negative 17. I do want to point out he only used 6 pitchers, and I looked it up, and in his last 4 weeks, I think he has used 6, 7, 7, and 8.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak too much on that. I don't use a lot of pitchers normally. I think, what did I say last week? I used...
But I mean, for him, he had Scherzer get him 28 in 7 innings.
Yeah, I mean, I have Verlander. I don't think...
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crapshoot with pitchers like that, but...
Yeah. So then coming in at number 4, yeah, big drop for this buddy. Dropping from 2nd to 4th. Jake Thibodeau, Austin has Crohn's disease. He fucking shit the bed, and if I didn't see what his score was for this week, I would say that this team is dropping rapidly. But he is dominating this week, and he's looking fine.
His pitching killed him in his matchup against me. His pitching was
2 weeks in a row, right? If I'm not wrong.
I don't know about 2 weeks in a row. I know for a fact against me, his pitching was fucking terrible. Zach Wheeler coming out and getting him -6. Patrick Corbin puts up -7, and this week puts up 25 already today. Steven Strasburg -7. Raciel Iglesias -10 through 0.1 innings. And for some reason,
and
Jake
18 pitches.
Yeah,
18 pitches.
Jake thought it was a good idea to pick up Joe Musgroves, who I dropped earlier in the year because he's ass.
I mean, like I've said in the weeks prior, Jake has a fetish with keeping bad, shitty pitchers. Yusei Kikuchi, who, mind you, he had a good start this week after Jake dropped him. Yeah.
Joe Musgroves in his past 6 starts has -3 to a nice 23, -4, -11, and a solid 17.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a true power rankings without me ripping into the Tigers here. So, just a quick note: Miguel Cabrera -1, over 3 and 2 Ks.
Yeah, I mean, he only got 3 at bats. So
yeah, because he fucking sucks. God.
Well, he's old.
I mean, for a shitty team.
Yeah,
sucks.
He's
on a
old.
shitty team.
He's old though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and they're still paying him a shitload of money.
Well, yeah, that's because he was really good and got a long contract.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about with him? I still think he's downsloping, cooling off a lot. Probably.
He's got players that I think are prone to heating up here. I think he's got. I mean, having Will Smith. Will Smith has been one of the most electric closers in the league so far this year. Underrated as well. You don't hear a lot about him. You hear a lot about all you could hear about, even when he was a free agent, was fucking Craig Kimbrell. But in his matchup against me, Will Smith had 4 innings, 4 saves, gave up 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 4 hits, and 2 walks. He was 4 straight. He didn't have a loss. He was 4 for 4 on saves.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Hunter Renfroe, who I think Hunter Renfroe is prone for a big breakout stretch here. He's in the matchup again. He's not a high average guy. He's just gonna hit for fucking power. He went 9 for 26 with 5 dingers, 8 RBIs, 7 runs, a double, a walk. Struck out 7 times, but if he hits a home run if he hits 5 home runs and 7 strikeouts, that's still a solo shot is 6 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's 23 points.
Yeah.
Off of just home runs and strikeouts alone. But yeah, I think he's got players that I think are pro. He's got Lucas Giolito. That definitely helps.
Coming in at number 5, moving up from 7, Yayit, Austin Wills. So he won 364, 361. We should probably touch on his Sunday decisions.
Yeah.
He started Pete Lambert, Hyunjin Ryu, and
Trevor Bauer. 2 of those.
He only had 3 starts left, mind you. But on his bench, he had James Paxton and Spencer Turnbull. So obviously, you have to start Ryu and Bauer.
Even with Bauer being on a little bit of a down streak lately.
But out of Lambert, Turnbull, and Paxton, mind you, Lambert was playing in Colorado against San Diego, one of the most power-hitting offenses this year.
Yeah, and one of the best hitter parks in the league.
In a series that has put up a shit ton of runs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Turnbull against Cleveland in Detroit, which probably wasn't... that would have been my dead last pick. I would not have started him no matter what.
My dead last pick would have been Lambert.
And then James Paxton against the White Sox.
He's proven to be a solid pitcher, and at one point was one of the best lefties in the league.
Yeah. Why the fuck did he not start him?
Why he started Pete Lambert,
For anyone that doesn't know, he got 17 points, 6 innings, a win, 2 earned, 7 Ks, 8 hits, and a walk. A single walk.
Spencer Turnbull
he won
got 5
by
innings.
3.
That would have.
If he subs Peter Lambert for James Paxton, he wins by 30 points.
And he chose the worst one out of them. I mean, again, it's a crapshoot. You don't know if a pitcher's going to go off or shit. But in hindsight, he picked the worst one. Peter Lambert before that was having a pretty solid 2 games. Like it was his 3rd start in the majors.
It's not a streak.
His first one was 28, and his second one was 16. Granted, downsloping, but he looked pretty solid in his first 2. So I mean, putting a 3rd, I guess I can understand it if he had a solid first 2. Kind of hedging it and just saying like, hey, even if it's a little worse, I mean, it's still quality points. Bud comes up with negative 13 and giving up 8 runs in 3 innings. Spencer Turnbull as well. I thought, honestly, I don't know why he doesn't have Spencer Turnbull anymore. He put him on waivers or released him, but Spencer Turnbull in his last 6 is negative 10, 17, 0, 17, 8, and 4. So I wouldn't have started Turnbull either. Between the 2 that I probably would have started, which would have been Lambert and Paxton, he chose wrong in every stretch of it. Even if Paxton has a shit week, honestly, or a shit day, honestly, the more I look into it, I don't really even know if it was a bad choice that he played Lambert. You can really only look at it in hindsight. It was a bad choice.
But it wasn't a streak. Tell me where this quote's from. We won a game yesterday. If we win one today, that's 2 in a row. If we win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
I don't even know what that's from.
Major League.
Oh, fuck, you're right. But I do understand. I actually understand now. I recant like all my statements previous. I understand why he started Peter Lambert. James Paxton in his 2 games leading, or actually in his 5 games leading up to the 17-point outing, the one before was negative 17. The one before that was 5. Before that 17. Before that 5, and before that 17. So honestly, he hadn't really been pitching all that well on the season. He's 4 and 3 with 71 Ks and a 3.93 ERA. And a 1.31 whip. So honestly, he really hasn't been pitching all that well. I do understand now why he put Lambert in, because it's a young guy that's did well in his first 2 starts and a veteran that's shaky. So I understand, but in hindsight, you want James Paxton in
there. Yeah. So I'm going to try to, I don't want to say speed through the next couple, but just kind of a little quicker. Coming in at 6, dropping from 5, Boot Scooter Boogie. He obviously lost that one by 3 points.
Mhm.
Honestly, there's not a lot I can say about him.
Didn't play DeYoung or Adam Eaton, which
Yeah,
could have
I
given him the
mean,
win. He
his
played.
highest scoring person was Charlie Morton with 36. It wasn't an outstanding week, but it wasn't terrible. He only had 2 players get him negative points.
Andrew
That was,
Benintendi didn't play in his outfield.
yeah. I mean, that was Lester with -5 and Soroka with -3. So I mean, it was it wasn't a bad, it wasn't an awful week. Like he still put up 361,
Mhm.
but he was just piecing a lot of small points together. 2 from Kane, 2 from Franco, 3 from Doolittle, 3 from Dickerson, 4 from Scope, 4 from Molina, 4 from Jose Ramirez, who has been god awful this year. 5 from Javi Baez, 7 from Reynolds, 8 from DeYoung, 8 from Vargas, 8 from Shane Green. And that's all your single digit players.
When you look at this game, honestly, the decisions that both of them made on that Sunday is what made it
There was
close to
so
them.
many bad decisions. It came down to the last
Because
game, but
yeah, the last game came down to the last game, but it shouldn't. Honestly, this
it
last
should not
game,
have.
the decisions they made on Sunday were
Pretty poor.
well, especially Boots Cooter Boogie. Didn't play Adam
Mhm.
Eaton and didn't play Paul DeYoung. Now again, hindsight is 2020. In his outfield, he didn't have Andrew Benintendi or David Peralta play. His
Yeah.
his flex player was Sin-Shu Chu, who can play the outfield. If you move Sin-Shu Chu into one of those positions where the guy didn't play and you sub in Adam Eaton, you win the game.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you take on the other guy, you put him in the utility that didn't play, and you sub him out for Paul DeYoung, you win by 10 with the decisions that
Yeah.
were made by Yai. But that didn't happen. So
So then next we had dropping from 6 to 7. He's lucky that his record is better than it is right now. Because if he had any worse record, he would be sitting below me. Barely not legal, Javi Carrillo. So he lost this week to yours truly, who did exactly that and dick slapped only on him. 70-point win, pretty good. Pete Alonso is his best scorer, 26. Cody Bellinger, 25. Yelich probably would have put up 35. No big deal.
Yelich put up 27.
Yeah, I mean, so he's a better player. What can I say? He used 10 pitchers. I used 6. He still got his dick slapped around. Well, or I slapped my dick in his face. Either one. Jock Peterson. We need to talk about that.
It's cooling off.
Yeah, 0 for 16, I would say, is cooling off with 2 strikeouts.
I mean, to be fair.
In a week? He went 0 for in a week?
Well, what's Orlando Arcia doing right now, too? So
He's not going 0 for in a week. Jock Peterson and Orlando Arcia are 2 completely different players also.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying things that Javi would definitely say.
Yeah, well, we don't like to talk about him.
And to be fair, Orlando Arcia right now is 0 for 16 in his last 16 at-bats.
Well, that's irrelevant.
He's 1 for 19.
That's irrelevant. Yeah, so then at 8, staying at 8 was my own team, Dick Slaps only. Don't let this team get hot. Watch out. Said it before, say it again. Don't let this team get hot. I do need to point out, though, Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, my only negative players this week, and they are last year's league Cy Young winners. What the fuck?
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, my pitching, if this was last year, listen to this pitching staff and tell me where this would be rated in your fantasy lineup. Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Roberto Osuna, Daniel Hudson, Ryan Presley, Griffin Canning, Alex Colome, what is his name? Emilio Pagan. Yeah, I don't fuck him. Whatever. Jalen Beeks, Jacob DeGrom, Frankie Montas, and yeah, that's it.
Well, Framber Valdez. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Oh, well, I just picked him up. He was not on last week's line. I'm talking last week's lineup. The pitchers that I had on my roster last week, I would have had probably the top 3 pitchers in the league in DeGrom, Nola, and Snell. Probably 2 of the 3 best closers in Osuna, Presley, and Colome. Probably.
To say that Alex Colome is one of the best relievers
Okay, yeah, that's
is a
true.
stretch.
That's true. But
Osuna is a very good closer.
2 top 10 closers. Relief pitchers, I should say.
Yeah, because Osuna and Presley both aren't closers.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I put up 70 points this week. I kind of dropped the dick on him. I'm pretty sure I had a 100-point day. I'm not sure. I know I did sit Griffin Canning on Monday. He got 12 points, so that kind of hurt. 59 points that day. 35. 53. 41. Maybe I didn't. No, I think that was last week. No, I didn't. 59 and then 44. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if
don't
you
let
can
my team
say
get hot.
don't let this team get hot when you're sitting at
Don't
3
let
and
this
8
team get
on a
hot.
1-game win streak. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
if
I
you
almost
can
won
say
last
that.
week. I almost won last week.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
I put up a 100-point day to almost come back the last day, so.
But you didn't come back.
I lost because of Adam Wainwright. Who would have expected Adam Wainwright to fuck up that bad?
You lost.
To fuck
I
up that bad?
lost. Yeah,
Adam
he
Wainwright.
fucked up. He got negative points.
I would have called that.
Well,
This isn't the Adam Wainwright of 2010 we're talking about here.
I lost 316, 312. I put up 107 points on the last day.
We are talking about Adam Wainwright.
Oh boy, here comes stats from Zach.
Just you
So yeah,
fucking.
we're not really going to talk about the bottom 2 because they're both shit. I guess we could say moving up from 10 to 9, he brother, because he beat the 10th ranked team. Congrats to Stummies. It was a fucking barn burner. 267, 197. Oh no, that's the wrong week.
When you type in Adam Wainwright on Google, the last result that comes up on the top trending searches is Adam Wainwright retire.
I don't know what they're talking about because he's not retired.
He's not. That's probably a suggestion.
No, he should not retire. No, he should retire. He's pretty shit. Yeah. So wrapping up the rankings, I'll just go through them real quick again.
37.
Yeah, he fucking blows cock. He blew that game for me. Yeah. So I was rated by Blackman, number 1, Zach Beekman. Albie's Home for Christmas, number 2. Bartolo colonoscopy, 3. Austin has Crohn's disease, 4. Yayeet, 5. Boot Scooter Boogie, 6. Barely Not Legal, 7. Yeah, fuck you. Dick Slaps only, 8. E Brother, 9. Grats Test Dummies, 10. Apparently the last 2 teams are tanking for draft picks that don't even matter. What? What is that face for? For anybody that can't see this, what is that face for? Zach is making a very disgusted face.
And, so, just looking at some stats here.
Jesus.
Since you can't understand why Adam Wainwright went negative. Since 2014, his last All-Star appearance, he has had a above 4.40 ERA every season, but 2015. He had a 1.61. He only pitched in 7 games, 4 of which he started. Since
All right,
then,
any closing remarks?
his ERA is 4.62, 5.11, 4.46, and 4.46.
Okay, so I made a bad decision. Fuck off. Get over it. I lost. You didn't.
I know.
All right. Any closing remarks before we wrap it up here? Anything anybody wants to
Shouldn't
say?
have played
Fun
Adam
facts?
Wainwright if you wanted to win. That's my closing remark.
I don't think I would have won anyways.
You guys can fight it out tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for listening, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram at
Follow me on MySpace.
yeah, the Backdoor Pod on Instagram. Sure, we'll be getting some content up there soon. Other than that, leave us some reviews. Let us know what you think. If you want to email us, I guess you can. It's kind of weird now, but email, we'll put it in the bio. It's going to be thebackdoorpod@gmail.com. Basically, anything you want to find us on is going to be the Backdoor Pod. So, yeah. That's episode number 0. And hopefully that went well. Hopefully everyone enjoyed.
Yeah.
All right.